Hello and welcome to another episode of Orc Rogues, where we bring to you everything nerdy, geeky, and just plain fun. My name's Derek.
And my name is Thomas.
And it is, what time is it? 1:30?
It is 1:28 Saturday night.
Or Sunday morning, depending on how you look at it. Why are we up this late?
We clearly need better lives.
We just saw the Avengers Infinity War, and we wanted to bring you a review, thoughts, all that fun stuff. It was amazing. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we just got out of the movie. It is very late. Of course, this isn't going to actually be posted until Tuesday, because editing's a thing, and I am a busy person. But, what did you think?
Well, as a whole, I liked it. I mean, I just did. It was fun. It was long.
It was very long.
It's 2 hours and 36 minutes. That is a long film. It did not feel like a long film.
It didn't feel like a long film. It was paced incredibly well.
Really was.
And there was a lot going on, a lot of different characters, a lot of different settings. It had to tie in a lot, and I feel like they did it really, really well. Just as far as pacing goes, they handled it well.
Incredibly ambitious.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, really ambitious. They had how many plot lines did they have running?
Before we go any further,
spoilers.
There are spoilers in this video.
It's in the title. But spoilers, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Though, seriously, if you haven't seen it yet, you're living under a rock. Go see it. The rest of the world has.
Go see it. It is entirely worth it. Set aside some time. 3 hours minimum. But
before driving.
Yeah, before driving. That said, like I said, it didn't feel like it. I was really impressed. And at the end, 2.5 hours, right? Well, a little over 2.5 hours. And it sounds funny, but I could have gone for another 2.5.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the rest of the theater could have as well.
And it was funny because, and we were talking a little bit about this after we had left. Not that long ago, I was in a theater watching The Last Jedi.
Yep.
And yes, I am making comparisons to The Last Jedi, and there is a reason for it. And I remember at the end of the movie being a little surprised by the overwhelming positive attitude coming out of it.
That's true.
By everyone else.
That is true, yeah.
I was sitting there just after seeing it saying, what?
Yeah, so was I. Like, I really didn't know what to make of it.
But everyone I heard coming out of the movie was like, oh, yeah, that was awesome. Did you see that part? Did you see that part? This was different.
Yeah.
The movie ended, the credits were rolling, and everybody in the theater, or at least about half of them, I swear I heard half of them say, wait, that was it? Where's the rest of it?
Yep,
what was this?
Pretty much.
And it's the first part of a story arc.
Yeah. And
that is very important going into it, that you know that. Otherwise, you will be disappointed.
Yeah. It definitely breaks, and on a rough note.
Absolutely.
On a really rough note. You know, the last time I actually saw a movie have that effect was Fellowship of the Ring.
That's right.
I was in theaters in there, and a lot of people didn't know that was, how that book was. And so many people in the theater were just like, no, you can't do that. Yeah, and this was much the same. People were like really kind of freaked out, and rightfully so. Like where it ended, We've already established spoilers. We lose,
Absolutely.
Like the Avengers lose, and not by a little.
It's a movie about failure.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Gee, I wonder what you're tying this to.
We'll get back to it.
But the effects, for the most part, should I go ahead and talk about gripes? Can I talk about gripes?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about gripes. Okay. The movie sucked. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, as a whole, I loved it. There were a couple things, though, that I was not a fan of. One, and I mentioned this to you, was the battle the Hulk was having with himself. I didn't mind the fact that there was a battle that Hulk was having with himself, or Bruce Banner. Sorry, the two warring in the mind is fine. That said, I think it was poorly done. Like, I didn't like the effects of the partial transitions. They seemed a bit cartoony. They seemed a bit silly. And I don't think that worked very well. I think it would have been nicer to have that going on in his head, maybe with a very, very slight transition. Like they did for a brief moment where they had him just a little bit turning green here, But I thought it was just poorly done. It was kind of just silly, and I didn't think it fit. The other issue I had was also cosmetic, but it had to do with, and I don't know her name, but the daughter of Thanos, not Gamora I forgot her name, Nebula. Nebula?
That was
not those two, but one of the other children of Thanos that was kind of a main bad guy in the film. Mm-hmm. They did the same thing that bugged me with Steppenwolf. Like, she's entirely CGI, and I didn't think it was necessary. I think it would have been better to have an actress in prosthetics, and if they need to make her look bigger, you can do that with perspective.
Well, it's not even like she was bigger.
Yeah, no, not by much. Yeah, she was slightly bigger than human size, but I mean, not enough to. No, I don't like that treatment especially when it could have been done really easy with prosthetics. The other character that she was fighting with was entirely CGI as well, and I was okay with that because he was very alien-like, right. and very different, and it would have been tough to do. But things like that I don't like.
So, a couple of things I wanted to mention that I really enjoyed. First of all, very beginning, Loki. We have a Hulk.
Yeah, that was nice.
Loved it.
That was nice.
I loved that line that it got brought back.
I do wonder how many people were stunned at how bad Hulk got thrashed.
Hulk hasn't been as impressive in his last couple appearances. Yeah. So if you were keeping up with the movies, maybe not that impressed.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I'm mildly disappointed. I was actually a little disappointed with a couple of the other ones before that. This one I wasn't disappointed because I saw the gem. Thanos has the power gem at that point. Yeah. And that, even Hulk wasn't really a match for that. So in the comics,
in the first few minutes of the movie, we do get our first death. Yeah. First of many.
Many.
And Loki bites a bullet.
Yep.
That's not the correct phrase. Bites the dust.
Yep.
And do you think that's sticking?
I don't know. Like, I want to say no, but it was pretty convincing. Like, this time.
It really was. Most of the deaths in the movie, we are positive, aren't going to stick.
Yeah.
And it's kind of obvious when you looked at who was killed off versus who survived. Also, we are going to come back to that.
Yeah, we were so wrong.
Just want to go ahead and say that. Oh, absolutely.
We were so wrong.
I thought Captain America was dead, and he's
Iron Man was on up there on the death toll for me. And no, he's alive and well, and well is probably a stretch, but he's alive. Yeah, it's like all the new characters, every single last one of them.
Yeah, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Cool. So Loki dies very early, and then you have Thor's whole hammer story arc. I forgot the name of the weapon.
The new one?
That one.
Stormbreaker.
That one. Yeah. We have that whole story arc, the Guardians story arc. Also, love Team Groot.
Team Groot was funny, man.
Team Groot was amazing.
Whoever wrote Team Groot has a teenager.
Oh, absolutely.
Or has had one. One
absolutely.
of the two, yeah.
And I loved everything that they did with that. Of course, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, amazing.
Some really funny moments. There was a lot of comedy in the thing. It didn't feel forced, though, at least not to me.
No, it really didn't. It all felt very natural. And, of course, most of it was Chris Pratt.
Talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Yeah.
He's just hilarious.
He's a funny guy, man.
And he's got his own brand of humor that he's had ever since Parks and Rec.
Yep.
And he's wonderful. But
it's been a while, too, since I've heard, like, a full theater laughing. And I caught a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
It was neat, actually. It was cool.
There were a lot of really wonderful moments. I do love, skipping ahead just a little bit, that it was Team Groot that created the handle by sacrificing some of himself. I love the concept of that.
I liked it.
I know you were saying...
I do have issues with it. I don't have issue with the creation. I loved that. I loved the whole scene. I thought it was beautiful and really well done. That said, I didn't like the look of the hammer. At least what I could see of it. I mean, maybe it's better than they initially showed. I don't know. But that one little thing where they had a bit of... It looks like a toy. It really has a toy look to it, which, to be fair, is, a good way of selling toys.
Yeah.
Power Rangers did it for years, but I don't think it belongs in a Marvel film.
Well, Disney is doing it with everything.
They are.
We all know that, and we all hate them for it.
Yep.
We can move past that.
I liked the concept of the hammer, and I liked the kind of overall basic look of the hammer. I just didn't like that it was kind of toyish looking.
Anyways, and then we have the whole thing with Thanos and Gamora and their relationship, which I thought was both really sweet and predictable and a little out of character seeming to me. I don't know if that was in the comics or anything.
For Thanos?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't remember the relationship between Gamora and Thanos. That said, it wasn't completely out of character for Thanos, no.
Okay.
He was a relatively complex character. He was not just... I thought they did his character, like, very, very well.
He truly believed that what he was doing was right.
Yeah.
And he played it very well, that he did believe that.
And, they captured it really well.
They did. Like there were moments where I legitimately felt bad for Thanos.
And his, Brolin did a phenomenal job.
Oh, absolutely.
And them capturing, what I was thinking, like them capturing Brolin's expressions, they did it as well as can be done. I mean, I think they did it very, very well.
They did. And Gamora's death, while I feel like it's going to stick,
it very well could. Yeah, that one very well could.
It was a little predictable. Like, as soon as... Oh, also, Red Skull cameo.
Oh, I know, right?
That was awesome. The whole theater gasped.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Like, I honestly don't remember a lot of the Infinity War. So I think this is more of a retelling than it is a thing. But, I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
As soon as he said that soul for a soul thing, I was like, oh yeah, Gamora's gone.
Yep.
And she should have caught on. I thought she did catch on.
I caught it before, actually. The second they said sacrificing something you love.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing. And I was like, oh, man. He does. Because, he does. You can tell he does. And, it was a little too predictable, but it was good. I thought it was good. It was touching.
It was. And then I did love when Chris Pratt as Star-Lord completely lost his crap when he found out. I thought that was just incredible acting on his part.
Acting was good. I actually had one issue with that scene. You're talking about the fight scene and the end of that?
I was specifically talking about when he realized and confronted Thanos.
Yeah. At the end of that fight scene, which was amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
There's this massive fight scene between... Who is there?
It's Thanos, Doctor Strange,
Spider-Man,
Iron Man, Spider-Man, Star-Lord,
Mantis.
It
was really good. Just really good.
Drax.
But yeah, Star-Lord finds out, ends up essentially waking Thanos up. that whole bit though, where he's talking to him, like it worked really good on Chris Pratt's side. I don't think that part worked really well on
Yeah, I can't think of it.
side.
There it is.
It's and not that Brolin did a rough job of it or anything. It was the position they were put in and the acting. Like, I don't know how you would act that well. Honestly, like I thought it was a little.
Well, he was
strange.
also kind of in a trance for all that.
Yeah, I know.
So,
what
can you do?
That's what I mean. Like, it was like there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could pull a good scene out of for his part, and I think that was kind of a little unfortunate. I get why they did it, and I don't know a way to do it better, but I don't know. It bugged me just a little.
And then you have the Black Panther and the whole Wakanda thing. And by the way, we are not a political channel. I don't care your political thoughts on all that. Leave it out of the comments.
That's fair. I love that.
I don't really care if you put it in the comments. I'm not responding to it.
But the Wakanda, all that sort of stuff.
Oh, it was awesome.
I am a huge fan.
I incidentally have not seen Black Panther.
I haven't. It was wonderful.
I've heard it was incredible, mainly from you and every other person on Earth.
I loved it. I loved it.
And I loved the scene. I loved the city. It was modern while still being completely isolated and protected and all that. I loved the Black Panther suit, his sister, everything that she did. She's just hilarious.
She's good, yeah.
Everything with the Wakanda scene I thought was really nice. The way, Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner and yeah, the bow. That's right.
Do we bow? He's a king.
Yeah.
You look silly.
Yeah.
That was great.
We don't do that
great.
here. Yeah.
That was absolutely great. Excuse me. And then the fight scene following was really, really well done. There was a lot going on in it still.
It was huge.
And then I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead. The deaths.
Yeah.
Thanos finally gets all of the Infinity Stones and snaps his fingers.
Yep. And it's done.
Half of everyone is dead.
Yep.
That quickly. Now,
I did find it interesting that they had it linger a little bit.
Oh yeah, but, they wanted to be sure it sank in.
Yeah, it was rough, man.
Now, before I get into my critiques and future thoughts on all of that, wow, my gosh, did Tom Holland do incredible in that scene.
It hit me so hard. Everybody else's death was a little sad, a little like, oh man, not them, kind of thing. Tom Holland's scene was heart-wrenching.
And he played it so perfect.
It hurt. I mean, I teared up, No,
you didn't. You're a real man.
I teared up. I don't even.
I was
don't even
close.
Care, man. It was. He played it. He played it phenomenally well.
And to be fair, so did Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
They both played off each other perfectly, and they have been for a while.
They have.
And it was just beautiful.
Yeah, that one hurt. Yeah, out of all of them, that one really hurts.
So my critique about all this and what I think is it's not a criticism. I want to be clear on that. I am not criticizing their choice because I think it was very, very, very deliberate. Everybody who died had been a character that was introduced in the past 3 years.
Yep.
Anyone that was introduced before that lived, except for Nick Fury. But we'll come back to that.
Right.
In the main bulk of the movie, everyone who died had been introduced in the past 3 years.
Right.
And so you have the Guardians of the Galaxy all dead, Doctor Strange, of course Spider-Man, as we've already mentioned, and then
Bucky.
Of course, Vision. Bucky is an exception.
Yeah, he's a little bit older.
He was in the first Captain America movie.
He was in the first Captain America, but he hasn't really come into his own since.
True. He hasn't been part of the team for very long, which I think is the more important point.
Right.
Anyone who was new died. And I think what they're setting up is for the old crew to have their last big adventure together in the next movie. And everyone's that at least everyone that died in that scene is going to come back, because of course we're going to have more Doctor Strange movies, we're going to have more Black Panther movies, we're going to have more Spider-Man movies. Those are not nearly done yet.
Yeah, you can't not have more Black Panther, because like a while back they said he signed like a several movie deal, and it's not up yet. So
yeah, and so has Tom Holland.
Yeah, we know.
And so we know that those characters are not completely gone. However, I strongly suspect that before all of this is over, we are going to definitely lose Captain America, or rather Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I am certain that
I like Steve Rogers,
but it's the way it happens in the comics. Steve Rogers is going to die, and Bucky Barnes is going to take his place as Captain America. They're setting it up really, really well for it to happen, and I think it's going to happen. Robert Downey Jr. is not going to do this for much longer.
Yeah, there's a good shot that Iron Man's gonna go away, which is kind of okay. I mean, because let's face it. At this point, you can't have Tony Stark without Robert Downey Jr.
No.
It's just not going to work. No. I mentioned it to you, like about the only way you could do that is if you did some kind of a Young Avengers thing, which could be fun. It could be fun, but it'd have to be like an alternate.
They are
deal.
doing good Teen Titans, so
yeah. Oh, incidentally, I didn't say that earlier, but I wanted to. Having watched this film, I can just see the DC execs. Watching it going, oh, crap.
And then Deadpool standing in the corner. Hope you brought the brown pants.
Right.
Also, really disappointed that now that Disney owns Fox, there wasn't a Deadpool cameo.
I know, right?
Really disappointed in that.
Yeah, I just want him to show up.
But there was it wasn't really a cameo after the credits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not Deadpool, mind you.
And this is one that I figured might occur at some point during this. Of course, at the very end, if you've seen it, you already know Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Oh, that's going to be a meme before this is over, if it's not already.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nick Fury sent out some sort of beacon thing, and we know that we're getting Captain Marvel. It is happening, and I'm assuming she's going to be involved in before the Infinity War is over.
Did they, by the way, I speaking of that, have they done anything, because I haven't seen it, like the plot of the Captain Marvel movie?
Not that, I don't believe they've released anything yet.
So I'm wondering if the Captain Marvel movie is picking up here, or doing like a origin-y sort of thing.
It might do an origin-y sort of thing that ends with her receiving the call.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And it would be another good chance to bring Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury again. Because at some point they've had contact. That much is clear.
Yep.
But no, it was really funny in the theater because everybody saw that there wasn't going to be an early post-credit scene and got up and started leaving.
Man, a lot of people left.
A lot of people left.
Like a good half the theater, man.
And I was sitting there highly considering it because after the way that Infinity War ends with just so little hope.
It's so bleak.
It really is.
So bleak.
You thought Last Jedi was bleak. It's got nothing on this. But with the way that it ends, I didn't think they could pull a post-credit scene that wouldn't detract from what just ended.
They pulled it off well.
They pulled it off
they did.
incredibly well, and I'm excited for what is to come.
Incidentally, it was a good choice because you're right. It wouldn't have not been pulled off well, I don't think, if you hadn't had Fury go.
Absolutely.
You know, him going at the last second with the little whatever beacon communicator thing dropping out of his hand or out of what was his hand. It was an impressive imagery. That's what I'm looking for.
It really was. But I will say, having seen the movie now and having talked about it, I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
If I were going to give it a rating, honestly, 8.9. I don't quite want to give it a full 9 out of 10.
I'll give it a 9. I'm okay with that, even with the issues.
It deserves it.
I had a
good.
few problems. I mentioned real briefly. I'll just say this. I would have liked to see it a little bit darker, not in what was going on, but literal. Like, it was a little bright, for the content. I think not all over the place. They had some dark spots, but I think they could have toned it down a little. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I'll give it a 9 easy.
It was honestly quite wonderful. Now, that being said, I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of backlash against the movie because of the same reasons why people hate Star Wars or The Last Jedi. Specifically The Last Jedi. And if I doubt I'm going to see that sort of response to this because right now, especially after the Black Panther, Marvel cannot do wrong. And I do not believe that anyone's going to criticize them because, honestly, they don't deserve the criticism.
Oh, I think some folks are going to criticize them, but I don't really think... I mean, and in some little tiny spots, they might deserve it. As a whole, no. Though, I mean, I think it was very well done. And to tie in as many franchises as they did, as smoothly as they did, it was an impressive film. I liked it.
Yep.
I got nothing else. I liked it.
Anyways, guys, that's about all we have time for today. We do need to make a quick correction. If you recall, last week we had a little bit of trouble pronouncing the name of our shout-out. As it turns out, Arnold's screen name is, in fact, Hooray Cheese.
Hooray Cheese.
So, thank you to you. And also, huge thank you to ADHD Gaming for helping us out spreading that Orc Love through his Twitch channel, which can be found in the description below as well as where it just popped up.
Thank you, ADHD. You're awesome.
Thank you so much, man. If you want to find us on Twitch, you can do so at twitch.tv/orcrogues. Just hit that follow button so you know exactly when we're streaming every time. It'll either be one of us or our buddy Caleb/Ulfhednar/the Dancing Viking. We're not letting it go.
No.
Never. If you want all things Orc Rogues, including the... Man, words are hard.
It's just falling apart, but we'll get there.
Including the After the Video blog post, which posts every Wednesday, the day after the video gets released. You can find all of that at orcrogues.com. I don't know if I already said that, but regardless, orcrogues.com. All of our social media is linked in the description below, and as always, until next time, we are
Orc Rogues.